Hey guys, Elizabeth Quinn here again with Elizabeth Seeds and Scents. Welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to check out my website, which is waftingwonderfulwax.scentsy.us, where I'm Liz Quinn, your lead Scentsy consultant. So today I have for you my weekly What I Have Been Warming video, and all the pretty leaves fell off the tree in the backyard, and it's just kind of rainy and drizzly today. So until we get some more beautiful weather, I am filming my What I've Been Warmings back out here. So when we get snow and it's icy and beautiful and I have the Christmas tree put up in that room, we'll do another one back there. So I have a whole pile of goodies because everything in my life is pretty much back to a normal rhythm now, and I've been melting and enjoying. So let's just dive right on in. So one of the days I was warming a lot of apple scents, and if you saw on my Instagram that I've been posting a few of the different melting combinations, I think my very favorite thing for the whole week was this trio of apple scented bars. Oh, it was so nice. So we currently have available the standard baked apple pie, which I don't talk about a lot, but it's such a good solid scent. And it's just the most wonderful combination of bubbly apple juices plus there's a tiny crust note. Some people get it, most people don't, and a lot of like good apple pie spice filling in a baked apple pie, which is exactly what this is called. I think I had this in the kitchen, and if you don't have another one of the bars that I'm going to show you, this one combined with the one from our holiday Scents of the Season wax collection should be good enough to really do the sort of thing that I had going in the house. So the other one that was going was Saint Nickerdoodle, which is available as of November the 1st. So this goes up on a Wednesday. You guys can get this now. You can get this in just like a 6-pack of just Saint Nickerdoodle if you want. You can do the 4 bars for $20 in the holiday Scents of the Season bundle, or you can get like 3 bars, one of this, one of baked apple pie, one of autumn hearth, whatever you would like to do. But this bar is amazingly beautiful. So it's like an apple strudel dusted with powdered sugar. Oh, and it's so like baked goods delicious. And it's kind of a medium throw. It's not super strong, but oh man, this is one of the nicest bars, and it's going in my club as of, well, tomorrow is when I can put it in. I'm filming this as I usually do on a Monday. So good. And then, last but not least, I had a good amount of apple butter frosting, which if you have a bar, these 3 together were phenomenal. Oh, was this good. These were amazing. So apple butter frosting is this buttercream apple and spices bar. And it's just wonderful. It's just so good. So I had those 3 bars going together in the house. It didn't last all day, but that first 4 to 6 hours was just delicious. And it would be wonderful to do in December when you were in the mood to bake. Very nice. So then there was another trio. I had a lot of trios, some doubles and a lot of trios going this last week. I have 3 things here that are rather on the pumpkin and chai sort of a thing. So we've got our pumpkin chai itself. I only had a couple cubes left of this. I'm going to order 1 more bar, I think, for November. And this is the perfect marriage of a chai latte and a smooth, sweet pumpkin. So it is a great bar. It throws very well. It's very powerful. It's smooth, it's sweet, it's spicy, it's lovely, but not too spicy. Then slightly heavier is Cozy Chai, which is in my club, and we've been able to get this in different bar bundles and deals over the summer, so I'm hoping that if you like Cozy Chai, you do have a bar by now. And this one is a little bit more like gingerbread latte spices. Oh, and it's so nice. So those 2 are very similar and really spiced up the house with that beautiful creamy bakery latte spice. And then I wanted a little bit more pumpkin, so I threw in a few cubes of pumpkin roll in my mini warmers, and this one's a little bit more bakery pumpkin, and it went very nicely with the pumpkin chai. So that was a day where it was just the perfect pumpkin spice latte thing going on in the house. Another day, I woke up and I was feeling almost a little bit wintry. We had frost on the ground. It was really cold, like a good cold snap. So I got out some bars that I more often do after Thanksgiving. I had 4 cubes left of Central Park Pralines, which is really good. So it's got this roasty, deep toasted pecan note, and then it has like a buttery caramel sugar and a little bit of spice. It is so good. and I wanted cinnamon bear, which I mostly warm in January and February. But I didn't want clove and cinnamon. I wanted cinnamon bear. So I put a whole bunch of cinnamon bear in the house, and this is it's just cinnamon. Everybody says it's red hot cinnamon, and for some people, they find it too aggressive. I just love it. It just feels like you could immerse yourself in the cinnamon scent in your house, and it's warm, spicy goodness. It's delicious. So then, to kind of balance those two, I added some around the campfire because I love that with cinnamon bear. It takes the edge off the cinnamon and the smoky, good sappiness of around the campfire. Also, in the wintertime, I mix this with the cinnamon bear, 1 cube to 1 cube, and I call it Winter's Hearth, and it is amazing. Those were wonderful, wonderful. Okay, another day, I woke up and I wanted some cinnamon and I wanted some fall fruity. So I have these three. I did some Harvest Blessings to give that fruit feeling. So this one is like a musk and deep autumn fruits and maybe a little bit of oakiness. It's so good. And you could do this on its own. You can do this with Autumn Road Trip. You could do this with several different bars. It's a really good team player, but it's also very distinct and enjoyable by itself. If I were having people over for Thanksgiving, this is probably the bar that I would put in my warmers. But I did on the same day some Autumn Hearth, which I'm going to be reordering. This one, even though it says Autumn Hearth, I really, really enjoy it as the weather gets cold. And this is like apple and tonka bean and a little bit of just a warm cinnamon. So it's really the most classic apple cinnamon scent we have, but it has so much depth that it's not boring in any way. It's so good. So I had this going with the Harvest Blessings and then the last one in the trio, which is cinnamon vanilla. It just made the house that perfect quintessential fall spices, but with that little edge of roundedness that was so good. And then, because it wasn't too sharp, cinnamon vanilla, which is a summer staple in our catalog, but I love it in the fall and the winter too. And this was beautiful with the Autumn Hearth. And cinnamon vanilla is kind of a sweet, gentle spice. The vanilla definitely dials back the sharpness of the cinnamon. It's really good. Then another day, I wanted to do something different. And I have to say, it wasn't my favorite for the way the weather was outside, even though I love all these bars. I did more of a cashmere trio. And what's funny is the one that I didn't like in the house was Cashmere Corduroy. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this bar. It's amazing. I just didn't like it with the day I was melting it. This, I really like this in August and September when I'm craving fall, but it's not quite what I want. And then I really like it again in the really cold winter. But it's not exactly an October, November, December bar for me. Anyway, this has bergamot. It's got Cashmere Corduroy suede type notes. And it's very, very good, and it's very relaxing. And if you're not into the spices and the harvest scents, this is great for fall. The other two that I had going were better. I felt like they went better with what I wanted that day, and that is Cozy Cardigan. This one you can put in your bedroom. You can put it in a study or a child's room or anywhere where you want a soft cuddliness. And I did think I put it in the kitchen maybe, which is kind of an odd place, but I don't know. I just threw it in there. And it was so nice. So this is amber silk and suede. And it's gentle and roses. Not like old lady roses. It's just this wonderful combination of cuddly soft scents that is so good for fall. And I love this. I always put this in my club. And then white amber and teak, which was great. I had this in the Florida room. So those two I was fine with. I just shouldn't have thrown in the Cashmere Corduroy on the same day. Oh, this white amber and teak has grown and grown and grown in my opinion. First I said it was only for summer, and now I'm loving it all year round. So this is probably going to go in my club too if it disappears for spring, summer. So it's got the amber, it's got the teak wood, it has almost like a men's cologne, but there is this woody depth that as the weather is getting colder, I'm discovering in it. It's phenomenal. So this would be great in a library. It's great. It was great in my Florida room where I do all sorts of different kinds of scents. I would do it out in the front room. I might not do it in the basement, but it was a good bar. All right, and then the last trio, the others are doubles where I think I did some mixing. I have the trio here for Halloween itself. So I had Halloween Town, and this bar, This bar is so good. It's like this deep, dark cedar, cranberry, a little bit of a weird note, a potion-y kind of a note that you can't tell what it is. And that, I only had 1 cube in a couple different warmers because it's such a heavy scent. And I balanced that with Cranberry Orange Cider, which is new. And this is so nice. It's from the Holiday Trio. And so those two are really good together because the Halloween Town tends to get heavy on me. And this is nice and smooth and bright and just its usual mellow self. And then the team player that I always drop a clamshell. Just a second. Oh. The team player that I always seem to have in some warmer somewhere in the house, Maple Rum Cake. I had this going in the Florida room in the kitchen for 2 or 3 different days in this last week in combination with all the other bars. And the thing about this one is, it's a totally different scent, but it sort of has behavior like Vanilla Oud. It's a low roller where it's in the room, but it never smacks you in the face, and it's just an enhancement to all the other scents you've got going. So this is definitely going in my club. All by itself, it's wonderfully rich. It's a deep spice cake with the rum and the butter, but it is so mellow that, I don't know, I just crave it all the time. So I've just been going through this bar. It's so good. So then one of the other days I did Caramel Apple Craze in a lot of warmers. And then in some of them I mixed it with salted caramel toffee, and or I just had them in separate warmers, but they were mixing in the rooms. So Caramel Apple Craze is a very distinctive apple scent with that caramel note. And it's got like a bright juiciness. It kind of has the Johnny Appleseed Mac apple note in it. And it was really strong, but in the best way possible. And then in a couple warmers, just to mellow it out a little bit, I put in the Toffee Butter Crunch. And then in a couple warmers, I had Toffee Butter Crunch, just that. And this is so sweet. Sometimes it's almost a little much for me, even though I love it. So this one is like a walnut and toffee scent. But this is so quintessentially October Halloween type smell, and I had to do them, and they were delicious. All right, and then another day, I just did this in 1 warmer to try it out. So to use up this bar, I've got 5 cubes left of Cozy Cranberry, and this is definitely a relic. You don't see this very often in anybody's videos because it's so old. This was from the Cozy collection, and it's the only one in the Cozy collection that I'm only kind of okay with. I actually kept it in my club for quite a while, and when I finally took it out, this last bar has been dying a lingering death. You'd think I could get through it. It's a very strong cranberry and almond smell, but in a weird way. So I thought I'd mix it 1 cube to 1 cube with good old Almond Croissant, which I love. I think I need to mix it with 2 cubes of Almond Croissant to knock down the strength of that cranberry, because it's a different kind of cranberry than what I like from Scentsy. It's sort of just an odd smell that's a little bit too tart in a way that's annoying. So Almond Croissant is a pretty rich, heavy bakery scent with all that flaky croissant dough and the almond in it, and then a tiny bit of cinnamon sugar. So I still think this is going to be the best mix to get rid of this Cozy Cranberry, but I'm going to have to amp up the Almond Croissant factor to get it done. So I haven't shown you guys anything else in the room up to the point of me filming this video. Actually, probably the pictures will go out on November 1st, so you will have seen it by now. So I need to correct that statement. But last week, because I don't really decorate for Halloween, and I do Harvest, and I kind of slide the Harvest colors along until they get really deep and dark. I redid this whole front room thinking of it as though it was Thanksgiving on the verge of Christmas, and I'm very proud of it. It's so beautiful. So I've got dark browns and dark olives and a really very brassy bronze, and I was just trying to go very conceptual with the fireplace and all this. So even though it was the end of October, I did all that, and it was late at night by the time I got done. I popped in Feelin Pine because I just wanted to kind of have a moment. I cheated and put on some Christmas music where I sat on my couch, I looked at the room, I smelled the pine. I think I was sipping coffee. I don't even remember. I was too tired. And I'm like, oh, this is so good. This is like flirting with Christmas, which I just love. I try to take my Christmas celebration from like November 1st all the way into my kids' birthdays in January because I just love the feeling of the season. And I know for some people it's like 2 weeks right around Christmas is how you do it. And then there are other nuts like us, like me, that try to stretch it out as long as you possibly can. So the Feelin Pine, I only had these 2 cubes. I needed to use it up anyway, so I popped it in these 2 warmers in this room, and it was just a fresh, gentle, little bit soapy pine. It's not my absolute favorite pine smell, but I figured it was good for my pretending. It was a little bit later in the year, kind of a moment there, and it was good. So, all right, and then at one point I threw in a few cubes of falling apples just to freshen things up in the house. This is a good, like, solid October smell. It's a woodsy apple with a little bit of lavender. It's got a lot of deep, rounded, almost like a red delicious apple kind of notes, and some oakiness. So good. So I really enjoyed that. I don't remember which day or where. And then I had a couple things going in the basement. I am totally overhauling the basement right now for Christmas. I usually do that first. I'm going to do a decor chat as a separate video where I'm just kind of explaining things, and we're talking about just getting prepared for Christmas mentally so it's not overwhelming when you're trying to do the design. But again, that's a separate video. Anyway, Cedar Cider I think bridges fall and winter very well. So I had a lot of this going in the basement one day. And it has a definite like fall cedar and apple note, but the depth and the warmth, especially as it burns off some of the top notes, it also really reminds me of like a cabiny Christmas, which is what I'm trying to create in the basement. I'm trying to create, I always end up going more glam and more metallics than what my brain says is going to happen. It's just kind of what happens to me. But I was going for like this cozy rustic cabin, which is going to be more elegant. It always turns out that way with me. But this bar was just so good for the mood I was in for that. And I wanted to keep it warm and cozy down there, so I did some maple apple bourbon too on another day. Oh, this is such a good scent. It's rich with lots of maple and bourbon, and it just feels woody and warm and a beautiful juicy apple. So this was fantastic. He was in my retired snowman warmer as I'm working on doing things down there. And I'm so excited to show you guys the mantle in the basement when everything is done. I'm trying something that's sort of a blend of some trends and some traditional, and I'm loving the way it turns out. So then we have, what was I doing in bricks? Because during the holiday season, we have got to get through some bricks, especially if you're a consultant and you got the whole kit. So you know I've been working on my caramel chestnut brick. I'm sure you guys were just waiting for me to talk about it, but I wanted to try out the top cubes of my fresh brick compared to the bottom cubes of this. This has a lot more of that deep chestnut note. This has a lot more caramel. So I hope this brick is totally consistent all the way through, but I'm not losing my mind. The ones at the bottom of this, I don't know if maybe while they were still warm, I don't know, they shouldn't ever put them up this way while they're producing them. But there's a much greater concentration of certain oils at the bottom of this particular brick, and it changes the scent a little bit. So I just want to know I wasn't losing my mind. I still love this. It's still my favorite. I'm melting it all the time. It's amazing. And then I was mixing Maraschino Sugar Cookie and regular sugar cookie. And I did it in my bedroom again with a lot more sugar cookie and only a little bit of Maraschino Sugar Cookie. I like the mix. I am debating putting a bar of this in my club. I think what I'm going to do is get one bar as a just in case and put it away. But I don't love this. I'm liking it, but if I have to manage it by mixing it with something else, is it really, really worth me thinking, well, what if eventually I just like it better and then I'm sad because I don't have more? Because that's what happens with hype stuff. When people absolutely love, and I'm not knocking those of you who absolutely love Maraschino Sugar Cookie, but when people really, really get excited about a scent and you don't, then you just sort of fear, I think it's fear of missing out, that you just don't quite get it, but then one day you're going to wake up and you do get it, and you'll be mad if you don't have it. So that's sort of my war on the whole Maraschino Sugar Cookie front. It was nice. It was pleasant. I'm going to love doing it the day that I'm baking those Christmas cookies. Like, that'll be a great smell to go with Christmas cookies in December. So then last but not least, I just got a couple things that we were getting through in the bedrooms other than my mixing experiment there. My daughter got through some whipped vanilla lavender, which was a spring scent, but oh, is it soothing and beautiful. I kept this in my club for a while, but eventually I took it out. So it is the most gorgeous lavender with vanilla and almost a little bit of like a coconut in it. Oh, it's smooth and creamy, but it's super light, so that's part of why I took it out, but it's so nice. I have a couple more bars tucked away for next year. And last but not least, the beautiful honey pear cider has been going in my bedroom because this is a retired bar and we have a stash, but if I use 3 or 4 of them, I'm only going to have probably 4 or 5 left. So enjoying a gentle scent like this in my bedroom is perfect. It's pear cider with gentle spices. And that is everything I have been getting through and warming. What did you guys pick up on November the 1st? Let me know what you picked up. I have my Scentspirations wax collection coming in the mail. It says it'll be here Thursday. And then another thing that I want to tell you, I do not have a date yet, but my friend Robin at Northern Lights Glow, she and I are going to be doing a collaboration best of the season video very soon. Or I don't know, we've got to nail down a date, but it'll be, I think, in the next week after this video was released for sure. And we're going to be sharing on our channels and not telling each other what we're doing, the best of all the things in this season. I have to hammer out exact details with her of what our categories are going to be, but it'll be a lot of LTOs because those limited time offers, it's very hard to decide because they're only around for a little while. What is the best? What should I be spending my money on outside of just general catalog? And I'm sure we'll pick some catalog things, and I just got to, like I said, nail down exactly what our focus is. But it's going to be a best of the season collaboration. And if you have not ever watched Robin, please go check out her channel. It is just fantastic. She's so detailed, and she just always inspires me with her focus and her ability to describe and also kind of analyze and rate Scentsy products. So this is Elizabeth Quinn with Elizabeth Scenes and Scents. Have an amazing day, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye.